My name is Miriam Terlinchamp, and this is a sermon I delivered based on the Torah portion vayakel I delivered at HUC in Los Angeles. Steve is huge. He's about 6 feet tall, 240 pounds, and has tattoos wrapped all along his left arm. He has been in and out of jail about 30 times, has served 13 years in state penitentiary, and has about 8 more years to serve. He also cried in my arms because he doesn't know how to break the cycle that he's trapped in. On our first Shabbat together in my work as a chaplain at the Los Angeles County Men's Central Jail, Steve gave me this ring, made out of a shoelace and a bit of plastic from a bottle cap, as a thank you from all the guys for the way I listened. However, working in jail has taught me that not all gifts are offered from the heart. Sometimes the gems of the jail community are offered in an attempt to curry favor or as a means of flirtation. In jail, as in life, some are more self-serving to the giver than it may first appear. Yet Steve's ring is a reminder that it's possible for one human being to touch another human being's heart in a single moment. It's a reminder that it's possible to transcend the boundaries of gender and class and education and social status in a single moment. Yet these are meanings that I impute to that moment. Perhaps Steve had other motives that I don't know about. If it means something to me, does it matter what the intention laid behind the giving? If these men do good by offering gifts to those they appreciated, could it become a habitual behavior and lead to a better, cleaner life? Or on the other hand, if people only do good because they should do it, or because it's their job, or they see it as their duty, then they will endure a tedious existence. It's not just inmates that I'm talking about. In our future professional environments, there will be discounts. A congregant gets a tailor and offers you something at cost because you're the rabbi. There will be donations, checks written to our discretionary funds as appreciation. There will be invitations, a mishloach manot. There will be rules that apply to the entire staff, except for you. And there will be praise offered every single day. Gifts come for all different reasons. It's important that we not get caught up in what we receive, because we are guilty of giving for the same reasons as well. We will give to others out of the responsibility inherent to our chosen occupations. There will be times when we'll be present at events, offer praise and blessings, home visits, and cater to specific individuals, not out of want, but out of necessity. There will be decisions we'd rather defer to someone else, but have to make. And there will be moments, whether it's economic cutbacks or how many hours we are willing to work, where we will have to choose between what is best for our community and what serves us best as individuals. Some people will presume that our motivations are always pure and holy, for the sole reason that we are Jewish professionals. Most of the time we will be giving from our hearts, and sometimes we will be giving because it's our job. This is not a rebuke, it's just a fact. Hopefully there's a balance between the intentions behind the gifts we offer and receive. In Parashat Vayakel, the community of Israel brings their precious belongings as offerings for the building of the Mishkan. When Bezalel and Oholiab and the artisans took responsibility for these freewill offerings designated for the Mishkan, they found that there was an overabundance of gifts. So many gifts that Moses had to tell everyone to stop giving because their efforts had been more than enough to get the task done. Bezalel, as the chief artisan, had to stop and sort through what was appropriate and worthy enough to become part of the Mishkan, our holiest man-made creation. Bezalel interpreted God's instructions on how to build the Mishkan, yet he had to search the offerings in order to find the right tools for the job. What makes a great artist, and Bezalel was surely that, is not steadiness of hand or brush. A great artist is a great arranger. An artist looks at a heap of offerings and distinguishes what belongs and what does not, how items may fit together, and how a piece of art is only as worthy as the sum of its parts. Bezalel did this by sorting offerings by color and material, seeking out what is independently holy in order to select what belongs as part of his holy work. Each of us needs to be an artist. Our careers depend upon it. As Jewish professionals, we receive a slew of gifts that require an artist's eye, using humility as our corrective lens to sort through what is holy offering and what is an offering made for ulterior motives. We are in the business of goodness. But why we give and want to do good, what brought us to HUC in the first place, must never escape us. If only every act of building came with a master architect, then the cohesive whole of all the different pieces in our lives would fit together just right. However, life is not as absolute as building the Mishkan. There are no directions from God to be translated by an artisan, no specific colors to highlight our different gifts. We live in a field of grays that requires to sort our gifts by intention. The artist hears both the tears of gratitude from her congregant during a trying time in her life, as well as the people in the front row saying, "This isn't your best sermon." The artist shares the gifts of thanks with her support staff, understanding that it takes many people to actualize her dreams as a Jewish professional. The artist understands that gifts are not to be kept to beautify our own personal temples. Gifts are the natural part of building community. They are our chances for reciprocity. Gifts are best appreciated when they serve the greater good. The artist recognizes that her eye is only as strong as her humility. The first Shabbat service I participated in jail was pretty different from any other service that I'd ever been a part of. It was in a room that used to be an old mess hall, metal benches bolted to the ground, stained off-white concrete walls, and tiny, tiny windows about 15 feet up that were shattered and cloudy with age and disrepair. My supervisor, Rabbi Yossi Karen, showed me how to make the room feel different from the rest of the jail. We wanted the men to feel, if only for the few hours that they were with us, that it was Shabbat. Thinking of the ring that Steve had given me earlier, I wanted to give him in the same way he had given to me. The men we work with are used to cold beige food on beige plastic plates in a beige room. We cover the tables with white cloths, bright colored plates and vases with flowers. Rabbi Karen brought in a warm meal of chicken, rice, salad, hummus, cake, and challah. It was a feast by anyone's standards. When the guys came in, I waited with bated breath for them to react to everything we had done to transform the room. You know what they did? When the men first came in, they walked right past the red and yellow plates, did not notice the flowers, the food, and all the things that Rabbi Karen and I had put together for them. All their eyes went to the tiny, tiny windows at the top of the room. And Steve called out, "Look, sky!" I watched as 27 felons gazed up at the small patch of sky visible through fluted panes. They acted as if they had won the jackpot, excitedly talking about how long it had been since they saw the sky, how good the air felt in the room because it carried the smells and sounds of the outside. It would have been nice to know that I did not need to spend 4 hours beforehand in order to make Steve and the rest of the guys feel so lucky. I wanted them to feel the way I felt when Steve gave me that ring. I thought it wasn't dressing up the room. I wanted them to notice the flowers and the plates, but all Steve needed was a glimpse of the sky. We sang Lecha Dodi to welcome the Shabbat bride, and as my voice lilted in song with the voice of the men, I too was transported. An irony of ironies, my voice sounded better than any concert hall I've ever been in. The acoustics in that dirty room, in the back of a dark jail, was the best acoustics in the entire world. We sang until we could make out stars through the windows. We sang until the food was cold. And as I left work that night, I sang on in the parking lot on my way home, breathing in that LA air as if it were sweeter than heaven itself. I changed that night. I went to the jail in hopes of giving the gift of a nice Shabbat to someone else, and landed up coming home with the gift of awareness. Just as I did not know I was giving them the gift of seeing the sky, they did not know they were giving me the gift of seeing myself. We are all artists, sorting through motivations and not allowing ourselves to be swayed by glitter, ignoring the intention behind the glitz. We do not know the narrative behind every individual's giving, so we search for ways to not let it all get to our heads. I do not have to sort through my gift of awareness. I know it was a pure gift because it happened by accident. That is what we artists need to keep our eyes out for, gifts that happen organically.